it's Katrina and welcome back to the Wedding Diaries videos. I believe this is episode 5. The last episode was choosing the wedding dress. Actually, 2 months ago in October, they texted me saying that the dress was ready for pickup, but I actually still haven't responded to their text because I just don't feel like I really want to go pick it up yet. And for a multitude of reasons. I think one, I just don't have a place to put it at home, so I'm okay to just leave it there a little longer. 2, I don't really feel like the best right now in terms of just like my body and just how I feel. I feel like for this past year or year and a half, I haven't been working out like much at all. But I told myself when 2025 begins, I want to try harder just to get in a better habit and routine day to day. So because of that too, I just feel like I want to give myself a little bit more time and hopefully feel better when I go try on my dress. Or at least for me, when I feel good about myself, it makes everything I put on my body like just feel better too, and I feel like I look better in it. So I just want to wait a little bit, especially since there's no rush in terms of altering it. I feel like I still have time, and so I want to take some time to find some shoes before I go pick it up and alter it and stuff too. There are a lot of details about the actual wedding day that we don't want to share beforehand, so I'm going to try to share as much as I can, but hope you all understand. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer as much as I can down below in the comments, or you can DM me, whatever. Today is December 20th, 2024, and we're about 6 months out from our wedding. And so I'm just gonna go down the list of like the different things that I've been working on, and then I'll talk a little bit more about them. So we finished asking all groomsmen. Ryan hadn't officially asked his last groomsman because he doesn't live near us, so we arranged a time to like hang out, and then he asked him.
Oh, it's okay, I like homemade. Of course, dude. Dang, this is very thoughtful. This is everything,
right? It's
everything that I still remember. Hell yeah.
So
Very thoughtful.
sweet.
We asked our officiant, which is my cousin Jeffrey, who also went to school with Ryan and I too, and so we all known each other. He was someone that we were both really excited to have in that role, and so we're really happy that he's really excited about it too.
Here you go.
Thank you.
We got a little something. You can open this one.
Is this? Yes, I'll be your bridesmaids.
Yeah?
I'll be the maid of honor.
Alright.
Now you bet that.
Yeah. You gotta say yes to whatever is coming. Wait, you missed out the big one.
Oh, wait, I'm a license. You want me to do it?
Yeah, are you
No,
down?
we want you to.
Are you down?
Of course. Wait, I need to prepare it on serious.
Okay, wait, we'll help you. Don't worry, your part will be done quick, so you got the rest of the night to party. Okay, here, we promise there won't be any sharp rocks at our
That's a good one. Okay, I'll try my best.
Yay, thank
I think
you.
I can do it.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do good.
I've been in my mock-up era. I'm just creating a mock-up for everything from our floor plan, like preliminary seating chart, the outfits that we'll wear, like color palette, just everything that I can. I found it really helpful and also fun to create little mock-ups to show people how something might look, and for us to just get a better sense of like the vision and whether we actually like it or not. Mock-ups have been super helpful when it came to bridesmaids dresses, and this actually leads into one of the questions that you all had, which was to hear a little bit more about their experiences and what helped them find the dress for them. Just to give some context, I have 7 bridesmaids and they will each be wearing a different color. First, I kind of thought about the colors that I wanted and like the rough shade, and then I asked each person individually like what are your top 2 colors out of the bunch. And some of them had 2 colors, some of them said they didn't really care. Based on whatever they said, I assigned each person a color. I think it took a lot of pre-work on my end, and one of my cousins who recently got married, she said that if I want to go forward with the mismatched bridesmaid's dress, just to be really clear and not afraid to say that I don't like an option that they're showing me. So that was something that I definitely kept in mind, and what was really helpful was doing the research ahead of time. So I asked each of them what their budget was for a dress. And so what I would do is if I was gonna assign them a certain color, I would first start looking through the internet for dresses in that color just to make sure that there are actually some possible options before I like give them some arbitrary color that doesn't exist anywhere. And it also helps to kind of know like a general sense of your different girls' like style preferences. During one of our cousin hangouts, me and 4 of my cousins all sat there and they were like, okay, Katrina, we're gonna browse the internet and show you some options and you let us know if you're okay with it. And so within that session, 3 of them actually bought the dress that they ended up keeping. And then my sister, who was in another state, I had sent her a link and I said, oh, I think you would look good in this dress. And she bought it and she liked it too. That was really helpful to be in real time giving feedback to the dresses they picked. So like for some, I'd be like, oh, the undertone of that one is not quite what I was looking for. Or like, oh, the material. One thing that helped too was because we were doing things really early, by the time Black Friday came around, some of their dresses actually went on sale and they were able to buy it for like a cheaper price. But because we are in like the winter season right now and the colors and styles that I'm going for lean more towards like spring and summer, there weren't that many options to choose from. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like if there are certain colors or like fabrics or patterns that you feel would be more in trend during like a specific season, try to just figure that out before you get your wedding party to buy stuff, just so that there could be more options. I don't think I mentioned this in the previous wedding diaries, but in June, Ryan had got laid off from his job, and so that was really stressful because the job hunt took longer than expected. We were trying to figure out where could we cut costs. We reached out to our wedding planner. We had originally booked her for like a design and coordination package, and she was really understanding and she allowed us to reduce our price and still keep her for the coordination, the month of and day of coordination. And so we were able to save a little bit there and take on more of the load, which I had the capacity to do, so that was okay. And we were able to take a break on booking vendors because we were still really early, and I just had the goal of booking all vendors before this year ended, just because I know that a lot of vendors increase their rates every calendar year. So I wanted to make sure to book everything by the end of December. Also, just because I do like having things done and squared away, and so I just wanted to be early with it. And I'm happy to say that one, Ryan found a job. So a couple months ago, he started his new job, and then we started looking at vendors again, and we finished booking our last vendor this month. And so very excited just to have our vendor team all built out. We put a lot of thought into booking each vendor, and so we're really excited and feel like we have a little, dream team being built. This next section is all going to be about flowers, and I feel like this is going to be very niche, and so it might not be helpful for anyone who is not like actively planning their wedding and thinking about flowers. But if you are in that position or will be, I'm gonna just have this portion of the video here for you. So the florist was our last vendor to book. We just booked them this month, and this vendor was unexpectedly the one that took the longest and was the hardest to find. I feel like we've reached out to more florists than any other vendor. And it's funny because in the beginning, when Ryan and I would write down our priorities of what was important to us, flowers never came up as one of the top priorities. And I still don't think they're necessarily a top priority, but because I spent so much time looking at flowers on social media, which not like a whole nother thing that you can talk about the dangers of, like looking at social media for weddings. But basically I found that the category of flowers is where I experienced the biggest fluctuations in terms of my preference. Like from the very beginning of reaching out to vendors to the moment we booked our vendor, my floral preference changed completely. And I think it is based on a lot on like trends and what I'm seeing a lot, but also just kind of me refining and being able to articulate what it is I actually wanted. To step back, I kind of approached flowers in 2 different waves. The first wave was maybe 6 months ago, where I started reaching out to florists for the very first time. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what different kind of flowers there were. I didn't know how much it cost at all. I didn't know anything. And so those first few meetings and filling out those forms, I was just kind of guessing. I was like, oh, I think I maybe want these ground florals, and I think I want that altar arrangement, and I think I want this and that. And I think my budget is like $2,000 for florals, right? And it just showed me how little I know about industry prices. The sticker shock is so real when it comes to flowers because we're so used to going to Trader Joe's and buying like a bouquet for $10, right? But when you all of a sudden get a bouquet price, the bride's bouquet, like $200, $300, your mind is shocked. And so I think the floral price was definitely the biggest sticker shock for me. And it took me those several first round of meeting with florists to just try to figure out like what are they asking me and how do I begin to talk about flowers. I had no idea. With all the proposals that they were sending back to me, it didn't align with what I was looking for, and so I had to see where am I going wrong with how I'm articulating my vision. Because if all of them are sending me a very similar proposal with a similar palette and a similar look, but it's not what I'm looking for, something's wrong with like what I'm conveying to them. And so during our big break, like I had to take a step back and be like, okay, let me just try to think a little harder about flowers and what I actually want and like. And I started to trim things out that I didn't really care about. And so we're not gonna have any ceremony flowers at all. You know how usually there's like an arch or like pedestals or whatever, like where the bride and groom are standing as they're like getting married. I thought that was something I had to do. It wasn't until, I looked through so many pictures, so many different weddings, and then I found a couple where I was like, there are no flowers around them. And I actually really liked the simple and minimalist blank look of just no flowers at all. So I was talking about it with Brian and was like, would I regret this? Whatever. And ultimately I thought, I don't think I will. And so we actually cut out ceremony flowers, and that shaved off like $2,000. And I'm not saying that the floral price we ended up going with is cheap by any means, but it was definitely over what I originally budgeted for. I originally told florists that my budget was $2,000, but I was giving them like a list of items that I wanted that was closer to, I got quoted from like $5,000 to $8,000. Anyway, that was a big reality check for me to step back and revisit my entire, like, what do I want for florals? Where am I willing to cut back? What is a realistic budget for what I want, right? And the second time around when I reached out to florals, I made a new slideshow that was put together the way they kind of operate and sequence things out. So I started with my personals, which are bouquets, boutonnieres, right? I talked about like the sizes that I wanted. I don't want something too big because I'm a petite person, so that was able to cut down some costs. For like bridesmaids bouquets, I went back and forth on whether I even needed them, but in the end I decided, no, let's just have them. And I decided, but let's make those even smaller than mine, and let's make them all just like one single flower, so that cuts some cost too. And for the groomsmen, we're not doing any boutonnieres. Actually, even for Ryan the groom, we're gonna cut boutonnieres just because when we looked at pictures of grooms with their boutonniere or not, we actually like the look of it clean without a flower there. And so those are examples I think where you don't have to do something just because that is traditionally what's been done. And so we really had to think about like what do we actually want? And some people are gonna have shit to say. And they will just say it whether you're asking for the opinion or not. You just have to like really kind of think about like what is it that you and your partner want, and to try to sound them out. Because I'm also guilty of sometimes giving my opinion too when I see something. I think at the end of the whole wedding process, maybe it would be helpful if I made like a specific video where I just talk about tips for booking each vendor and just some really like vendor related tips that I feel would be helpful for just people that are going through it, but not necessarily interesting for anyone who isn't. I've been working on the website behind the scenes and it's almost all ready. And so I've been using Zola. I wonder if I could let you all see a little bit. Katrina and Ryan, this picture by our friend James. We have the little story, a wedding party page, the frequently asked questions. And I've decided not to send them out with the save the dates just because I feel like if you let people see the entire website, there's no incentive for them to RSVP when the invites come around because they've already seen the website. The save the dates that we sent out. They have the date, they have the city that it's in, so that's kind of like the basic information they need to know. Plus we actually haven't even talked to like the venue coordinator to figure out the details, start times and stuff like that, so I feel like all of that can wait until the official invitations are out. I did this mock-up to try to figure out what color Ryan wants to wear, so I went and just like put his head on these different suits and we're just seeing what we think, but I'm gonna keep it a secret because he doesn't want me to tell you. So now here is my master to-do list. It's the bachelorette party. Oh, by the way, for that one, we are planning to do a combined one. I'm really nervous and anxious for it. I just feel like mixing family and friends, mixing a lot of people, trying to match everyone's like budget, comfort levels. And so I'm kind of struggling with like, what can I do myself so I don't put that load on others, but to also ask for help where I need it, and just like, do Ryan's friends and my friends like interact to help? I have no idea. So coordinating such a big group event feels really daunting, but I'm hoping that like everything in this journey that has, you know, been really scary and nerve-wracking in the beginning, like buying my dress, asking my bridesmaids, planning a wedding overall, doing all of that, I hope that this feeling will pass and that I just get to really soak in that like joy and the love, and have fun with it. And so I'm just trying to ride the wave that comes. What I've noticed is that this wedding planning process, and I felt this really early on when I first decided to do a wedding, I felt so raw, like this feeling of rawness where anything could hurt me, where I just feel like vulnerable, like my raw flesh is out and anyone could just like poke me and hurt me. That's kind of how I felt. And so I'm just hoping that everything will go well, that we'll all have fun, and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be in a few months. Oh, I don't know if I said this already, but I am kind of working on the officiant speech ourselves. I'm putting together an outline, and then I have areas where I'm gonna let my cousin Jeffrey just like edit and write whatever he wants, but there are certain, you know, specific like admin housekeeping things that we want in it. I also have a section of like things that we're doing to kind of save money, and so hopefully towards the end I know that those videos are sought after, so I'll try to make more videos that are helpful. But I just wanted to use this series as a way to document my own feelings right now, because this is the wedding diaries, and so I know that this episode probably wasn't that exciting, just hearing me sit here and talk and nothing too dynamic, but I hope you all enjoyed. And yeah, a lot of it is behind the scenes stuff. We're working on a couple of things that I'm really excited about, but I don't want to share, but it's just super fun seeing it come along and bringing our little and big visions to life. So I'm very excited, but I'm also kind of nervous, and I know I'm gonna be sad when it ends. I always tell Ryan, like, when you pour so much time and love into it and it's all that's really consumed your mind for so long, in this case it would have been like a year and a half, it's hard not to feel that emotional tie to it. And so I'm just trying to cherish, you know, this whole journey. Of course it comes with like some stress and some spats, but it's been really fun. And I didn't put it on here, but we're also in the process of figuring out like the groomsmen stuff, what they're wearing, and so Ryan is really like taking the lead on that. That's been really fun to see that come along too. Overall, I feel like we're just in the season of getting things done, seeing progress here and there, and I'm very excited for it. So thanks for following along. I'll let you all know when I pick up my dress, and I will see you in the next Wedding Diaries video.
Yeah, I'm gonna put her picture. Yeah. Okay.